The Hero and the Hidden by Kitty Quack on AO3. Episode 25. Chapter 22. Can't Replace My Blood. Toshinori sighed, letting the cool, salt air run over his face as the water slowly lapped at his feet. He wasn't a fan of this beach with it running over in trash and slop, but it was hidden from view. A place to get away from the eyes of the reporters in society. He rubbed at his eyes, staring at the sun setting on the water. All for One was out there, even now. He needed to finish what the previous users had started, what Nana had entrusted to him. He knew that she had taken a chance giving this power to him, but it was still exhausting at times. Orchestrated efforts were up all over the city in the worst areas. People with powerful quirks were going missing and then found without the quirk gene. He was getting stronger in the shadows, and all Toshinori could do was take down Small Fry and keep his public image. He needed to put an end to this never-ending battle soon. What exactly are we doing at the beach? A child's voice asked from behind a pile of rubble. Something about it sounded so familiar. No doubt it was one of his fanboys. He stepped back behind a pile of trash, listening to the conversation. A coarser voice laughed as a teenager stepped into view. He didn't see Toshinori, who was tucked behind a car bumper and a fridge, watching. I told you that you needed to get washed off, didn't I? He placed the bag on the floor, opens it up, and pulls out soaps. I thought you meant an actual shower. A younger voice said, stepping into view as well. His green hair looked so familiar. But Toshinori would have recognized that massive burn on the back of the child's skull. It was quite prominent. Not the dirty water at this beach. The older teen laughed before glancing around the area slowly, scanning for anyone. Toshinori thanked the fact that his weak self looked so pathetic. He usually preferred to stay in his strong form, but there was something nice about being at a beach like this. He used to come with Nana all the time before he gained his All Might form. First rule of streets, kid. You want to wash up, you come here. Public showers can be dangerous. Toshinori frowned. What was this teenager teaching this young boy? It was disgusting, the behavior he showed. Leading a young boy down the life of crime? The teenager strips off his hoodie and mask, and Toshinori has to physically stop the gas from escaping his mouth. The kid's entire body is burned up, held together by staples in pure luck. The young boy stares at the teen's burns before stripping off his hoodie as well. His body is a mix of freckles, burns, and scars. His arms are actively bleeding from long scratches in them. There is a massive hand-shaped burn on his shoulder as well as many bruises covering his body. The long slash scars across his back make Toshinori sick. The kid was young. This was an awful sight. The teen smirked, looking at the scars that mixed with freckles. Cool story, kid, he remarked, pulling his pants off next and grabbing the soap. The young boy nodded, rubbing at the scars and cuts that covered his arms. It was disgusting the way the teenager treated these like prizes. It was clear the young boy was weak from all his injuries. Toshinori stumbled slightly, catching his foot quickly. However, he dislodged a bottle from the top of the fridge, sending it tumbling down into the sand and rolling towards the kids. Shit. He needed to get out of here now before he was accused of something. He couldn't transform right now. It would catch the attention of the kids. The bottle rolled right to the young boy's feet, who gently picked it up and turned towards where Toshinori hid. The dark green eyes glazed at his blue ones, fear filling them. Toshinori knew why this boy looked so familiar. He was the monster he had seen murdering his own mother. The boy opened his mouth to say something before a new emotion crossed his face. It looked like recognition, but that wasn't possible. The boy had never seen his small form. All Might, he mouthed, staring directly at the hero. Adjusting his stance, to that of a fighter. Toshinori's heart dropped to his chest as he shook his head. The boy glared at him with such vile hate that Toshinori couldn't help the shiver that ran through him. The gaze of a monster was powerful, even when Toshinori knew he was stronger. See something? The teenager asked, catching the attention of the young boy. This was it. He was exposed. The Hero Commission could deny it. 2 young boys wouldn't change anything. They could be dealt with. The boy looked at Toshinori with a glare before turning to the teenager and tossing the bottle at his feet. Just a big rat, he murmured, looking over his shoulder. Toshinori was already gone. Tomura shifted through papers of Quirkless individuals' database. There were plenty of older folks, but as the people got younger, there were fewer and fewer of them registered in Japan. What I don't understand, Master. Tomura starts, laying the papers out in order from oldest to youngest, is how someone who is quirkless could have a quirk without you giving it to them. Master chuckles, petting his hair gently. You see, my student, he says, watching Tomura work. There are rare occasions where those who have no active quirk gene go through a stressful event and gain a quirk. He sat in his chair, twiddling a glass of champagne in his fingers. It's rare, yes, but I've taken a few of those activated quirks from individuals. They begged me to after living so long without one. The quirks themselves tend to be extremely powerful in order to push past the non-existent of the quirk gene. Tomura nodded, listening as he goes through the list. The shoes look so small from what the camera showed, which took out a lot of the older options. He couldn't see ahead from above the dumpster, which took out taller entries. Very few remained, but he was unsure of how to shorten the list anymore. Master grabbed one of the listings, humming as he read it. I would like you to look into this child first, he says, handing Tomura the paper. Izuku Midoriya, 9 years old. He scoffed at his master's suggestion, setting the paper down. A 9-year-old wouldn't be able to have a power like that. How do you think it's this kid? Tomura asks, scanning the more probable cases. A 20-year-old lived in the near vicinity, who was registered. Master grabbed Tomura's face roughly, making him face him. His sharp blue eyes pierced into Tomura's, making him squirm. You will follow what I tell you to, boy. He spits before releasing Tomura's face. Besides, I believe that his father used to be one of my comrades before he ran off to America. Tomura nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. There was no way that scrawny kid could be his monster from hell. But he had to listen. Master stood up from his chair, straightening his suit out. It is time, Kirigiri, he says, adjusting his tie. Kirigiri nods, walking out from behind the bar. Will you let me come, Master? Tomura pleads, scratching his neck. You know I'm powerful. I can beat him. Master scoffs, running a hand through his hair. You may be powerful, boy. This is my fight to end. He states, stepping through the gate that Kirigiri made before disappearing. Kirigiri went back behind the bar, wiping at the table again, flickering on a communicator to listen for orders. He screamed, disintegrating the chair that his master was sitting on. He wanted to get out of this stuffy bar. He wanted to kill All Might. That was what he needed to do. He needed to kill the symbol of peace. But Master took priority. He scratched his neck, scanning the information about the young boy. He had been declared missing midday yesterday. The times did match up, which frustrated Tomura more. He didn't want a child. He wanted a monster from hell. Izuku sighed, running his hands through his hair, letting the soap coat all his curls and run down his neck slowly. He didn't know why he was so certain that the man he had seen was All Might, but He just knew. He knew those blue eyes that had left him. He hated them. "What's wrong, kid?" Dabi asked, gently rubbing at the spots of his skin that weren't burnt. His hair looked lighter, but that was a problem for another time. "You've been silent for a while. Does the wash not feel that good?" Izuku hummed, shaking his head. "Just lost in thought," he mumbles, dumping a bucket of water over his hair and shutting his eyes. The water was freezing, but it felt good to let the blood and vomit wash off him. He couldn't even see the water turning red here. "Heroes fucking suck," he murmurs, pulling a knot within his curls. Dabi glances up at him before laughing, his staples pulling as he roared even louder with laughter. It took him a few moments to calm down as he patted heavily. "Yeah, they do, kid," he finally said, wiping at his eye. "They do fucking suck." Izuku nods, gently finishing rubbing his conditioner through his hair. He hums quietly, letting the water drip into the ocean again. "So, are you gonna leave me after this?" Izuku asks, staring at his hands that are covered in soap. He hated being left alone, but it was better. Dabi sighed, dumping a bucket of water over his head again. "Listen, kid, my life's dangerous. I can't drag you along that," he remarks, shutting his eyes and shuffling to the pier for his towel. He rubs at his hairs and eyes before a crackly voice talks. "I can take him off your hands," the voice says. Dabi throws his towel down, standing protectively in front of the boy, facing the two newcomers. One is made of purple mist, blending into the night, while the other, pale skin and hair, stand out like a sore thumb. The hands on his face didn't help much either. "You aren't taking him anywhere," Dabi grunts, letting sparks play on his fingers. He can see Izuku step back away from him, but he focuses on the kidnappers. The one with hands covering his face smiles and steps forward, itching at his neck, with one hand, while the other reaches towards Dabi. Long distance it is. He throws a fireball at the villain's head, who simply sidesteps it, reaching forward like a maniac. Dabi throws another fireball as the villain charges him, smiling creepily. He could use some lotion. Dabi ducks under the villain's hand, tucking behind him and shooting a fireball at his back. The villain gasps, turning to glare at Dabi before charging again. They fight back and forth as the moon rises higher, lowering fists and flames into the empty air. Dabi can see Izuku hidden behind the trash, but doesn't focus on him, letting himself fight passionately. It's been so long since he'd been able to find someone to match how awesome he was. The pale-haired villain screamed, getting more frustrated as time passed, starting to get sloppy in his movements. Dabi nailed him with another fireball before ducking under his hand, glaring. "We need to go, young master." The Miss Villain speaks finally, fixing his tie. "Something didn't go as planned?" Dabi grins, punching the villain in the face with a flame fist as he distracted. The pale villain sneers, stepping back away from Dabi and into a swirling portal that appeared where the Miss Villain was. "Grab the kid, Kirigiri," the villain's crackled voice called out before the portal vanishes. Dabi turns to Izuku, watching in horror as a portal opens behind him, and he's grabbed around the neck and pulled back. Dabi races at him, trying to get him before he disappears. His fingers hit empty air as he hears the kid call his name through tears. He had let a child get hurt. He was no better than his father. It's been 6 months. I'm back. Also, what in the actual living fuck did I come back to? No, actually, what did I come back to? First of all, I have to say, god damn, 6 months and my drawing style has improved significantly. I cannot wait till I revamp this series. I'm sure Kitty Cat will very much appreciate a revamping of this series. Because what the fuck is that cover art? Also, once I revamp the series, and doing a bunch of revamps of series, Because I already read them, I already know what I could do as like the picture. So I think for this one, I'll just do like, I don't know if I want to do like a monstrous Izuku, or I don't know. It depends. I mean, I'm only 22 chapters in. I have a lot more to see what I could do with. This was really cool. This was really nice. I really had a lot of fun doing this specific, what's it called? This specific, words are escaping me. This specific series so far. Holy hell. That, I will be honest with you, it has been 6 months since I've read this, so there was a little bit, like, I was reading through and I'm like, I'm trying to remember which one this was. I think it was this one, but I'm not 100% sure. After the All Might interaction with Izuku, I know exactly what this one is. I didn't know Izuku was gonna get... Okay, summary for... I'm flabbergasted. Chapter 23 is called Blowing Through the Jasmine in My Mind. That's an interesting title. Summary being, I love Kurogiri, don't we all? Tsukauchi stresses. Interesting. Okay, well, predictions? I don't know. I'm scared for Izuku's life. Is villain Izuku attacked? We got traumatized Izuku, but we already traumatized him. Oh, this is the where Izuku gets, okay, I was separating those two stories and I put them together. Where Izuku was like in a foster family and I got mad at Tsukauchi. Okay, so those are placed together, right? Okay. All right, okay, I have that in my mind. I don't see villain Izuku unless I'm blind. Quirk Discrimination, Quirkless, Orphan, Tears, Autistic. Regrets nothing. Regrets everything. Sleep deprived. Hug. Izuku has a knife. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Vigilante, Midoriya, Izuku. There it is. Okay, so Izuku doesn't become a villain in this one. Alright, okay. I wouldn't be opposed to that either. I'm open to all. I'm open to a lot. And everything and everyone. Okay, I'm open, y'all. I don't know about you, but I am open. Anyways, okay, this was really fun. Okay. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.